927 apparently may not have adequate soundproofing because there is a lot of noise that is traveling below.
How long have we gotten those complaints?
It's been about 2 years now, 2 years
For
of
2
that,
years, okay.
of the complaint. I know previously, last year, city inspector was called out to look at it. Once again, this year, the city inspector was called out again. There has been communication with the unit owner of 927. Letters have been sent. We've spoke to the family of that handles the matters for the unit owner here in person in the lobby to discuss the noise complaints. We have explained that it is considered a nuisance at this point because it has been 2 years ongoing, and there is definitely some type of issue that they need to address, whether that be to verify their soundproofing is at an adequate STC rating, or even if it is, perhaps they should consider upgrading it just because the complaints are not going to go away. Whatever they have is not working. So we have communicated. The unit owner did respond. At first, they were communicating back with us, and they did. The unit owner himself called, but then said that he would have the family member handle it. The family member came, spoke to us, had a contractor come in. They looked at the flooring and I guess made their assessment and just provided a blank letter statement saying that the soundproofing was adequate. We requested specific STC rating. They aren't or have not been able to provide a specific soundproof rating. So we cannot determine whether or not they are actually in violation of the City of Pompano requirements. Parliament Towers does not have a specific STC rating requirement. We just say, per your condo docs, that you are to check with the City of Pompano Beach and you must be compliant to city code. So because they're not able to determine a number, we can't say 100% that the number is not meeting the City of Pompano Beach requirement, but it is still considered a nuisance because the unit owner below has definitely cannot enjoy her, unfortunately, her way of life. Everything she hears every time someone enters the bathroom, she can't sleep, she can't work. It's been a major issue.
Am I correct that the city has not been able to provide us with a copy of a permit for this work that was done previously?
Correct. We asked the city to look and they could not find a permit on file for that flooring. But also the City of Pompano, back a few years, they didn't, at that time, they didn't require permits for the sound proofing or for flooring. At some point, they began to require permits, and they cannot determine whether it was before or after. They just do not have any proof of permits on file. So
could this be alleviated if they put down a padding and carpeting over their floor? I mean, they don't have to rip up their whole floor. They could just put another covering over it and, give it further soundproofing.
It's a rental unit, so they probably don't want to be bothered.
they need a contractor to come out and give them some type of soundproofing adjustments or improvement to their flooring. And any contractor that you call will gladly provide their service for that. So they've had a contractor, but since the contractor came out and basically gave us a letter saying that they had adequate soundproofing, the unit owner or family communicated that they did not feel that there was anything else they had to do because they did not feel they were in violation. But the conversation was had with them that it was a nuisance, the complaint was happening, it was not going to go away, and they should do something to try to alleviate that complaint. So that's why
let me step in here and for 1 second, and let me further that, Fanny, because you and I made a phone call to that company to speak to the person who signed that letter, and he denied ever signing that letter.
correct. He said that
So,
not
to me, that letter is fraudulent and it doesn't exist.
right. He said he did not produce the letter, that if there's an obvious 2-year issue, that that person should replace or put in install soundproofing correctly. So yes. Now, we did have a phone call later on by the partner who apparently submitted that letter. And The point here is there is a noise complaint. The unit owner is asking for assistance to mediate this. We've done as an association everything that we can to try to assist. We've communicated, we've made the suggestion to bring out the contractor, but the unit owner has, based on what their contractor told them, has decided not to do anything. So that's why they're on the list today for consideration of fine. We did send them a last letter telling them they had a certain deadline to respond. And they did not do anything as far as improving that soundproofing. There was a phone call today, I know, and yesterday that they would join this conversation, the board. So the board is gonna make a decision on whether levying a fine based on all this information.
Excuse us.
May I
Excuse
talk
us.
something? Hello? Can you hear me?
Can you hear us? Hello?
Yes, 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 we can hear you.
This is not complete, she's harassing people. First of all, they did inspection from your building recommendation. Second of all, he proved it and they have a letter. Whatever he told or whatever he thinks is fraudulent or not, is going to be under investigation. Second of all, before she moved in, was no complaints. She even complained when nobody lives in that apartment. I think maybe, and plus, association should pay for the testing that they break the tile. And
I'm
another
sorry,
further testing, this is supposed to be association expense.
And I'm sorry,
This is harassing, you purely harassing them.
excuse
You
me,
try to
I
find-
want to explain you something. You know, because when we bought this apartment 11 years ago, and nobody complained about anything, when this lady came in, she started to complain. Even nobody lives in this apartment. Last year, we got a call from the office and they said what something sound coming from our office. We called our tenant and they said what they're out of the country for 2 months already. How it can be? Can you explain to us how it can be?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, can you please identify yourself? You're not the unit owner, correct?
And everything what you recommended to us.
Sorry, can you please identify yourself? Are you a unit owner of Parliament Towers or you are the
Yes.
family of?
Yeah.
Yes,
They own it.
yes,
Yeah,
I
know.
am.
Okay, and
This is my son's apartment. We bought for our son 11 years ago this apartment.
so it's not the.
My son now, he is in Texas. He's very busy. He cannot come to this Zoom. And he asked us to answer on all these questions about. And the guy who came, who, you know, took away the tile, was from your company, what you recommended to us. He gave us a document, has a soundproof under the tile. He gave us, and we showed to the office, and he sent to the office too.
Okay.
That's why
You-
maybe this lady,
May I ask a question? You said you've owned this unit 11 years?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, when did you put down the floor? Was it within the 11 years?
Do anything. This is what we bought as is. And we have inspection. We had inspection this time. And 2 times they called City Hall. They came. They didn't find anything. Then your office recommended to us what we have to take off the tile and see what is under the tile. We did. We hired this company. We hired this company and they did a damage on our floor. It's still open. You can go and check if you want. And he gave us the paper, what they have, some proof, and they have everything. And nobody knows what is coming sound from our apartment or from another one, because nobody were in this apartment. How it can work this way?
It is completely harassment.
Not saying it was fraudulent, not fraudulent.
She
We have a
video. She sent an audio clip.
We have everything. We have by law at this time when we bought this apartment, we have by law, and by law said what we have to have quarter on the tile, soundproof under the tile. And this guy who opened from your company, what you gave to us, recommendation to hire them, they said what they have, soundproof like quarters of inch.
How will its sound is coming? The tenant, they working in the socks.
They afraid to splash the toilet at the night time, they said. And when I went to your building, I spoke to people and they said, well, this is so nice people lives in our apartment. And they, didn't complain about that. They complained about the neighbor who lives downstairs, about this lady. And even I talked to the worker who works for this building. They said, well, this is lady is not so behavioral.
So ma'am, the contractor that you called, the letter that you gave us, that's not our contractor. We don't have any contract. We don't employ any contractors. If you and I discussed that what you should do is bring out a contractor to assess your flooring, and that's what you did. But we don't have any contractors.
I sent it to you. And this company is coming from this list.
Yes, I don't know.
You recommend this company. Your actual association should pay for that, but they did pay.
First of all, the association doesn't pay for any inspections. That's up to the unit owner.
No.
That's what you complain. And by law, association should pay for that investigation.
No, that's incorrect. Everything inside your unit is the unit owner responsibility. When I discussed it to you, I told you that it was a suggestion. The letter in writing says it's a suggestion. You went ahead and hired a contractor. You made an agreement between you and the contractor, and it's not our contractor. We don't hire or employ contractors. You may have gotten names if you ask the office for names of people, contractors, because you don't know contractors. Often people will do that. We don't recommend anyone, but we will give you names of people that we have license and insurance on file. That will do, but we don't necessarily recommend anyone to you because we don't hire or employ contractors.
Funny, I remember when I came with my husband to this building, you gave me a letter, which one I have. This letter is here. I have in front of me, and this is 3 company what you recommended me.
Yes,
I know about all this stuff. That's why I hired from this list somebody. I didn't bring my neighbor. I didn't bring my relatives. I hired from this list what you gave to me. And this guy, he came and he gave me a letter. I have a letter with his signature, what is quarter of inch soundproof under my tile. It's still open.
Oh, Woody.
Fix it. We didn't fix it. You can go and hire somebody who will check if they have, if still, the tile soundproof.
And it is grandfather law. What?
We didn't
All
do
rule
anything.
and regulation continues in a required to the new existing situation. I am sorry.
So once again, the association does not hire or employ contractors. If you were given names for contractors, that's one thing, but they're not our contractors, regardless.
So
So
that's the-
board of directors, this is the situation in hand. You have a unit owner who is apparently suffering for 2 years and asking for assistance. You have another unit owner saying that the claims are not correct and that they don't have to do anything forward. So that's why it's on the agenda for discussion or consideration of a fine. The board can decide what action you want to take.
In front of me, all the letters. I have your law, when we bought this apartment, you gave me the book by law, and this is according to this by law, everything is done.
According to our condo docs,
Yes,
Yes.
according to the docs.
Yes,
And by law.
I showed to you, Fanny. I showed to
What
you.
I have this by law.
yes, absolutely. I spoke to you and I explained everything to you. The bylaws that you were given, when did you purchase?
11 years ago.
11 years ago. Since I don't know what you were given 11 years ago. I was not here, but what I do know is that your current condominium documents refer that the requirements are based on the